Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton. Along with me, as always, is the willful woman of well done wall balls, Bethany McChesney.
Well, thank you. I did think my wobbles were pretty well done.
Did you get any no reps?
No,
I got
I
some.
like I hit depth like well
Okay.
beyond. So
Yeah, I got so to continue my streak of many no reps,
Mhm.
all for missing the target.
Oh, really?
I've yet to get a no rep for depth, but I'm just really shit aim.
Oh no.
Like I'm high, I'm low, I'm left, I'm right. Just
Uh-huh.
really shit aim. And I guess
Um,
that's just not practicing.
do you know for sure, but my speculation is that they make the target more sensitive with pro?
Supposedly, yeah.
Because
But
I felt like
mhm.
there were times we it probably didn't hit properly and we still got the reps. So yeah, I was like, I feel like they made it really forgiving for the open heats. I've never raced open before. This was my first experience
Yeah.
with open. And these targets are kind of new anyways. So I felt like it was much more forgiving than when I raced pro.
So I would think that like they have said they do that. However, I never saw it in the process. I've never seen applications for it on the pad. And the
Yeah.
fact that, so for example, when you're racing women's pro,
Hmm.
the men open come in around the same time because all the weights are the same. And
True.
I've never seen them adjust that in between. Now, if you're going day to day, pro one day and stuff, so it makes sense. So I don't know. I'm gonna agree with you just because it's so shit for me and I race the pros. So
Yeah, we didn't have a single no rep, and I find that kind of hard to believe.
yeah,
It's just all I'm gonna say.
I
Um, yeah.
yeah, for missing the target a lot, especially I don't know, like that, like you say, if they adjust it for the pro or for the open, it would
But I think on the Sunday that we raced, it was all open heats all day.
yeah. So it may have. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been a
I
part of
don't
it,
know.
so I don't know. I'm fairly good with the tablet and all of its functions, but I've never seen the adjustment of the sensor. I've never got that deep into the settings on it. So could be not. They have publicly said that they do
Yeah.
because they expect the higher level to be able to hit a better target, which I still think is dumb. But that's what they say. That's what they expect. Um, so what do you want to talk about your race first? Your double race, two race, multiple race?
Yeah, we can. Um, yeah, I raced twice. We signed up for open doubles because I raced with my friend Lanny, who's never done a Hyrox before. And to be quite honest, the weights, even in open, were a bit daunting to her. We weren't sure if I was gonna have to do the full farmer's carry, even up until like a week before. Um, and the sled pull was a bit iffy, so I always started it. She said she was practicing at a gym that became is a new CrossFit or sorry, Hyrox affiliate. So um I hoping she had some people that worked with her a little bit. She came in just a day before we left, so we had about 30 minutes in the gym to go over everything. So that's about as much practice as Lanny really had on
Hmm.
the stations. And Lanny's an athlete, so I knew as tough as it was for her in the gym the day before, I knew that she'll be able to do more when it comes to race time. And she was in the race situation on the Sunday that we raced. She was able to do a lot more than we had maybe thought that she might be able to handle. So that was really good. Um, we We just had so much fun. Lanny and I have grown up together. So when she was off at the Olympics, I was off having babies and like so our lives took a little bit of a different turn for a while in our 20s. But we've always kind of come back and she's super supportive of everything that I do. And obviously, like I've always been really supportive of her too. So it was kind of cool to bring her into this world. She did do a Deca Fit with me back in 2022 and really enjoyed it. So to get her to experience Hyrox also was pretty fun. Um, I was nervous about the 4 lap course and it being very crowded. And again, I've never raced open, and I know sometimes they will crowd the opens a little bit more sometimes. We ended up in the last heat of the women's doubles. I had thought we would be in the first heat because I thought with open, or I thought with all the races, they kind of seed you based on your times, but I think they spread people out in the open a little bit more. So we were in the last heat. And we really kudos to the people in Ottawa because we really only had our first kilometer of a lot of yelling on your left. And then it was like after that, people realized to only go into that lane if you're actually running fast or passing. And it was really good. Although the course was crowded, we did not get hung up too much except with people on the in and the outside. Which
But that
again,
that's to be like, I mean, people have to get in, right? Like
yes.
they gotta
But
cross.
again, it's like when you merge into traffic, you don't merge into traffic at a snail's pace and then cut all the way across.
No,
The amount of people still that walk out of the out still kind of baffles me. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm in the fast lane. And then they have to jet out of the
don't.
way.
We put on the blinker every time we go in the end and you jump into the fast lane. It's like hand out, putting in the
I
blinker.
do,
I'm like, I
yeah,
got
we
the
do that
blinker on. I'm
too.
going in. I'm going in.
Yeah, we wave in. And
So,
I was worried too about the 4 lanes being confusing, but it actually wasn't that bad. And yes, I do run with my fingers up.
yep, me too.
Count 1, 2, and when I have 3 fingers up, I go in the in. And it gives me something else to think about um than the pain that I was going through trying to keep up to Lanny. But that was also, it was really fun and it was very reminiscent of indoor track with the 4 lanes. The tight curves though do get to me
Mm.
with the left side. So that was getting to be quite painful, but yeah, we had such a good time and we ended up winning our age group. I think we had the fifth fastest open overall. Um if we had the fastest run split of the day.
Yeah,
But
that's
like
not a big surprise.
no, no. But like the 600th for the ergs.
People, okay. Okay, so people on the ski erg though are nuts. The people on the ski erg in the first lap, they're just going out crazy. John and I, we went out there and we had, I think we skied like a 401 or 404, something like that, including the run in and out.
Yeah,
So a sub 2 minute for a 500 pace.
yeah.
We were like the slowest ski erg.
Oh yeah, people go
And I'm
crazy.
like, what are you people doing?
Yeah, I warned Lanny too. I said we're gonna go into the ski in first.
Yeah,
I said we are going to be passed by a lot of teams on the skier. Just expect it. Don't freak out.
yeah,
And sure enough, like I don't know how many teams did, but people just go
yeah.
crazy on it because you feel so good and you're all hyped up and the skier gives your legs a break, so you're like, whatever, like let's go.
Mhm.
And I mean, the skier still shoots your heart rate way up. So you're stealing from Paul to feed whatever because the more you take from there, you're gonna feel it later. So it shouldn't be a smash and go.
No, no, it should be a very comfortable, I think should be a very comfortable pace. Even in doubles, like you should still be within your realm, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you're huffing and puffing coming off the ski erg already, you're for a long fucking day.
Yeah. And I do want to say too, Lanny and I's race does point to a very important fact too, that running is needs to be a priority. And it is your low-hanging fruit as far as if you want to take Hyrox time off, focus on the running. Like
Yeah.
we sucked at some stations. And
You're
like
good at some too, though.
and we're not that bad at some, and we're
Yeah.
pretty good at some. But to have erg times that slow, farmers carry times that slow, and to still win our age group
Yeah.
because of the running, it shows you like focus on the running. And also, running translates to fitness as well.
Mm.
So it's going to help your other stuff too. And Lanny literally learned a lot of these movements 2 days before the race.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
And, and that's
Also, I will say though, no one's gonna get to that level of running
no,
in 3 or 4 months. You're just not. Lanny's an Olympian.
but you get
Lanny was
great
running.
beginner gains.
What's that?
Great beginner gains, though.
Oh, yes, exactly. And I'm not saying don't focus on it, but
Yeah.
also don't expect to be running,
No.
well,
No.
obviously, like that level, but you have to focus on the running. Like you can't, if you're just going to erg all day long, okay, so you take 10, 20 seconds off your ergs, there's still 8 kilometers of running.
Yeah. 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 You're easily 50 to 60% of the race is running, is one thing. If you get
Yeah.
great on your skier, great. That's like 1/16th of the race.
Yeah.
And great on skier compared to crap on skier is usually like 10 seconds.
Right.
Like it's not that much. Same with the,
Yeah.
you know, uh,
Hmm.
we found with us, we completely took the ergs as like just, whatever, relax.
Yeah.
And it showed like we had people on the row. I was doing like, and it's not a fast pace for me. I was doing like a 155
Hmm.
or 500, just chilling. I think it was like 21 strokes per minute. Guy beside me, who they came in there and they were dying, doing the exact same pace, but like 15 strokes a minute faster, and just like hearing him grunt every stroke. I'm like, dude, we again, I know we're more than halfway, but there's a long way to go,
Hmm.
and it showed. But it's yeah, you gotta just depending on where you're at, right? That's when you start worrying about like that 3% more, that 5% more. Right now, take care of that 50%, which is that run.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um,
So you guys did win that, and you said your wall balls. Your wall balls look pretty good. Both you, Lanny did good on the wall balls too. I think she got.
yeah, the
I
wall
thought
ball
it.
was the one.
I thought she got one no rep for depth, like right at the
So
beginning.
her first one, and we knew it would be like this for sure because so Lanny's had 3 hip surgeries. So she struggles with that. And we knew, and especially when you've been running, and I mean, the normal person has a hard time with that first rep or so.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's it's quite creaky for her at the beginning,
Yeah,
getting down into depth, let's just say. So I would say they definitely could have no repped her first couple. And I told her when we practiced in the gym and the wall balls were looking a little bit worrisome, I just said, if you give me 7 or 8 at the beginning, so I can lower my heart
yeah,
rate, like I'm fine. And then maybe 7 or 8 a little bit later. But then yeah, she took a little bit at the beginning, which was good. She did about 20 and which was more than I expected her to, but I'm like, yeah, you go for it. And yeah, it did get better as she went. And like I will say too, what for someone who obviously Lanny runs and she does stuff in the gym, but Hyrox is also still quite specific, and there is a lot of hip hinge patterns
mhm,
with Hyrox, and it exposed for her an obvious weakness that she knows if she works on the things that Hyrox showed her was weaknesses, she will be a better runner. And we've seen this with some runners like Alyssa McElhenney and Holly Archer who put in a training block for Hyrox, and then they still come out running really fast
mhm,
in 10,000s and marathons. And they're with what Hyrox does, with your lunges, with your wall balls, running is so the same movement pattern, especially on the roads constantly. And you don't get full hip hinge and you don't get full hip flexion like you do with lunges and wall balls. And to mix that in a little bit in your training when you're doing stuff like marathoning is
Yeah.
so good for you, and even hip stability, and it's amazing. Lanny can be she's one of has been in her life one of the best marathoners in the world, but is wobbly on lunges. So it's like, okay, what if we just did a little bit more of this? How much more strong would you be on the run? So
Yeah.
it's really interesting. And I do think it's such a good complement to that running as well on the other end of things.
Well, yeah, I mean, you talked about it for a long time. Everybody's talking about like just the extra strength. It helps, right? It's especially
Hmm.
when you're not concerned about cutting every fraction of a pound.
Hmm.
That strength pays off and durability, and especially, yeah, it's
Yeah.
I'm
Just
convinced it's
power,
necessary.
the
Yeah.
power you get in the hip at full flexion and with the hip hinge too. Because if you don't have hip hinge, even things like a skier gets hard. A rower is hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, rowing is just tons of tiny little deadlifts,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
It adds up. Um, so you got that, then you did your solo. How much time did you get in between?
At 90 minutes, which was not the plan. I didn't want it to be that close. Again, when we signed up, I assumed Lanny and I would be in the first heat, which would have been at 7:30 a.m. And then the open women start at like 1. So I'm like, I'm gonna have 5, 6 hours.
Yeah.
5 hours really. And then they put us in the last heat. And then we said in another podcast, they did mess it up and they put me in my solo 10 minutes later. So when I went, and again, Hyrox Ottawa did an amazing job. They were so organized. And so we went to help desk and they were like, yep, no problem. But the only heat I can put you in, so they couldn't get me in the last heat of open women. So I was in one of the later heats, but I only had 90 minutes from when I finished. So thankfully the awards for our doubles was 20 minutes after we finished, because we were the last heat. And then I basically just changed, shot down an energy drink, ate a Cliff Bar, and then I went over to the warm up area and I got warmed up again. Like my hands were still shaky. Like I was not even, I didn't even really have a chance to like calm my nervous system or anything. It was
Yeah.
just like, okay, it's gonna be what it will be. And I don't know. And yeah, the race with Lanny hit my legs in a way I haven't felt in a long time, just from running
It's a hard
that
pace.
pace on concrete, tight turns. So I knew at some point I was going to seize up. And it happened really early. Yeah, so on sled push, some of the sleds were pretty rough in Ottawa. I know I'm not the only
A
one to say that.
lot of inconsistency on the sleds. A lot of inconsistency.
Yeah. And some of them stuck like Velcro. And of course, I got one of these on my solo and I hit it and I was like, everything in my quad seized up. And then I stood up and I kind of laughed and I was like, well, this is super early and this really sucked. And that sled felt like a women's pro sled. And it was pretty hard to move.
I had a wildly different sled experience from my solo to my doubles. Doubles sled, we got on there, and again, for me, more fatigued in the doubles going into the sled. Um, moved great, fantastic, no problem. Like the plan was, I would push just over half. John would jump in and do what he did, and that end right. So we originally weren't sure what John would do on the sleds because he had never pushed pro sleds before. But that said, he ended up doing fantastically. But so the plan was I would just do whatever, I'd go until I wanted a rest and he would give me what he'd give me. But it moved so well for both of us. In the
Mhm.
solo, coming in, like I said, fresher, that thing was stuck. Like it was a hard push. And I was
Mhm.
like, shit, I wasn't worried because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get through this and I don't really give a crap about my time. But I definitely noticed a massive difference between that one and the doubles. And I was even trying to kind of move it around a little bit, get it out of the groove, see if that helped play with some things a little, because I had the opportunity to do so
Yeah.
to try to see if I could come up with some stuff. And it was just stuck. So I believe on that particular occasion was the sled, um, not so much the turf on that particular one.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, because we've come to figure out as the sleds get older and they get worn, where's the paint, the gloss paint off the bottom, and then you have that
Yeah.
bare steel, and the bare steel seems to be creating a more higher friction with the turf. So newer sleds, as we've seen a lot of times, they bring out new sleds, they all seem to fly, and then
Yeah.
these older ones seem to get all stuck. So yeah, definitely. And I heard others. Now I thought maybe it was as the weekend went
They
was
got worse?
they got worse as the weekend went was what I thought might be the case. But I also know some people on Thursday that had a really rough go on Thursday. And that was the day that we felt like we had a really decent sled.
Yeah, and you would think logically as the weekend went, it would get better.
Yeah, but I mean, it can, but sometimes what happens, I think, is the turf gets flattened down one direction, and then going back the other direction becomes hard because you have to kind of fight that grain. Basically, you're going against the grain, and the sleds do get worn more. Plus, humidity can acquire, and everything can get worse. So, I mean, it's a lot of factors, but
Mhm.
I think all in all, I don't know if it got worse as the weekend went on, but for me, it was. And you know, I found even the pull was the same. The pull was harder on the second day too for me. Well, I guess that was day three of the
Mhm.
event, but the pull was harder too. And you know, again, no big deal, but noticeably difficult.
Yeah.
And I think too, compared to in the doubles when John and I went, we were like near especially at that point, we were still kind of near the back of our wave and maybe getting closer to the middle, as opposed to on my own because I was kind of in no man's land. I was right at the front. And
Hmm.
it felt like the front ones were harder. And I don't know if maybe they get used more or what the case is, but that was the same thing I heard from some other people was the front ones, especially the very first one
Hmm.
was tougher, which seems to happen a lot.
Yeah, it does. So, what happens if someone is watching the sleds and they figure out what lanes are hard?
What do you mean, what if? You mean when?
Yes. And then when they go to race, they pick a random lane, let's say. Can they do that?
No, so theoretically, you have to go to the lane it's right in the rules. You have to go to the lane that the judges escort you to.
Hmm.
However, there's definitely been occasion, in fact, in world championships where people have played games and possibly could have been leading, but decided to drop back a little bit to avoid certain lanes.
Yes, and that was going to be my next question. So if you have to go to the lane that the judge sends you to, what is stopping someone from maybe starting 30 seconds later so they don't end up in the first two lanes?
Well, so I mean, I had that written down as something we were going to talk about too. So, I mean, yeah, that's something that's happened a few times now, and we've seen people before. And like, so I think the first person we actually saw do this was Rylan. However, it was done for a
Well,
completely
his was,
different
he
reason.
didn't do this because of sleds.
No,
He
it
did
was a
it,
completely different reason, right? And
yeah.
like, it was his spiritual thing. And then we have some other people who will say, well, it's like an anxiety thing for me, all this stuff. But I think for me now, it's gotten to the point where it is such how do you call it? A strategy, a technique,
Yeah.
that I think Hyrox needs to do actually what Deca ended up doing, which is your start time is the gun time. And Hyrox can do this very easily because they are really good at being on time,
Yes.
right? They're really good at sending the wave exactly when it should go. And so I think that they should change their thing to your start time is that gun time. That's what goes on your chip. And then you want to hang back and let somebody take those lanes earlier, fine, go ahead, but you can't benefit from it. The other part of it too is that if let's say you and I are racing and we go into wall balls and you hung back 30 seconds and I'm doing wall balls and I got like a 10 wall ball lead on you or a 5 wall ball lead. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to push. I just got to manage
Yeah.
this gap because I
Yeah.
don't know. And then I cross the line thinking I have like a 10-second lead, and it turns out I'm down 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And that's where I don't like it because then you don't really know what
yeah,
you're racing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's become a bit of a thing. And I mean, you know what? People who do it, it's not against the rules right now. So what are you supposed to say, right? It is what it is.
Right.
Um,
Well, and especially when these sleds you watch and some lanes are obviously really bad.
mhm.
So then, I mean, you can't blame people for doing that.
No, no, no. It's smart.
Yeah, tactfully, though, I don't like it.
Yes, it is a rule I would change.
Yeah, because then what if everybody decides they're going to? Then everyone's just
That
standing
would be
waiting.
hilarious. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
That would be really funny. Everybody just go.
Everyone stands and waits for it. No, you go, you go. Why aren't you going? That would be so awkward, but that's what's going to
I would
happen.
start shoving people across the line.
Yeah. And then their timer
Yeah,
starts.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, shit, now I gotta go. But it's
So,
gonna come to something like that if they
yeah,
don't do something about it. We're looking at a couple of issues, and one of them is that there's inconsistencies with sled lanes.
yeah.
So if they don't figure something out where they test, like sleds can be hard, but let all of them be hard.
And
Sleds can move fine, but let all of them move fine. Just
yeah.
test them all. So there's a little bit more consistency. People don't care necessarily. Well, I don't think they do. But if they're going to be hard, that's fine, but they have to all be hard.
And that's why I say if you take a wire wheel and buff off all the paint off the bottom of all the sleds,
Mhm.
that should even a lot of them out. And they're
And then
going to
you
be
get a
hard.
tension meter and make sure they all give the same amount when you pull
They're
them.
going to be hard, but
Yeah.
they're going to be more consistent. And like think about it. If we go into worlds and somebody does this tactic at the back, and waits 30 seconds, and then that screws the final and the podium at the end, how bad is that going to look? The good thing is that if Hyrox does jump onto this is something you can change now. You don't have to wait for a new season.
Yeah.
You can implement this right now, right?
Yeah.
Especially for Worlds. Implement it for Worlds because you don't want that shit to happen. So,
No, that would be so awkward at Worlds.
and from a guy
And
who,
everyone's doing math, watching,
yeah,
thinking, well,
yeah.
she waited 30 seconds, so we're adding 30 seconds throughout the whole race to balance
And,
it out.
and from a guy who had to deal with this at Deco Worlds with the doubles with Jay Muscart and Dave Megida and the two Spanish guys, and the Spanish guys actually had a faster time because they were a little behind off the
Hmm.
start,
Hmm.
right? So you don't want to have to deal with that.
No.
So
Mm.
anyway, but you podium in solo as well?
I did. I it's funny because all along Jeff had told me a time that I had to run in order to podium. So I had that time in my head, and it was slowly slipping away from me as my whole body was cramping. I've never cramped so bad on burpees. It's
Mm,
really awkward when your hamstrings totally seize up on burpees.
yeah.
Because you kind of have to super straight leg it to come up,
Yes.
which is like really awkward. And like I
Mhm.
knew wall balls was going to be a disaster, and it was. And I'm kind of laughing in my head because of the first time I yelled at Jeff in a Hyrox race when he was complaining about his legs cramping. And I told him, everybody's legs are cramping. Keep going. And then I was like, my legs are seizing up so badly you could see it. Like every muscle was like in little balls in my quads. Um, so when I finished lunges, I knew there wasn't really a possibility of running this time that Jeff said I had to run to podium. I didn't not I'm not saying I slowed down, but when I finished, I was like, okay, that's done. Now we're gonna go and cheer on Jeff and Mike and then I just didn't even look. I didn't even
Yeah.
look at results. And then it was about right before Jeff's race. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to check some of my splits. And I went on and it said I was third. So I was like, oh, shoot. And then I missed the podium.
Oh, you
Um,
missed the podium too. I didn't
yeah.
realize that.
Yeah. No, I really didn't think that I really didn't think that I would have been on a podium with that time.
But you're getting
Um,
so old, Beth. You got to remember that.
I know that's a thing. When you get old, it changes things. Um, yeah. Sometimes you're the only
101.
one.
101, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did get third in my age group. So yeah, which was kind of cool. I mean, I didn't really race for the podiums. I really did both because I wanted to use it like a good workout experience. So I'm gonna race the doubles and then, do a good workout for the solo because again, we don't have that many racing experiences with Hyrox. And because they were both open weights, I knew I could get through it.
Yeah.
Normally I race pro, and with having these 50 Ks coming up, we haven't really been moving big weight. We've been focusing a lot more on the running, so open just made more sense for me right now. In case anyone's judging me for racing open, I don't know if they are or
You
not,
know,
but
I think those days are gone. I think those days are gone. I don't think anyone
yeah,
judges anyone for racing open anymore. I think it's a different race.
yeah, yeah, I agree. And I am obviously a much smaller athlete who realistically open is
Yeah.
more up my alley.
I mean,
Um,
for example, if you were racing Terra,
yeah.
you have a much better chance in open than you do in pro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. So it's just I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't even think it's a step down. I just think it's a horses for
Different.
courses thing.
Yeah. And this is kind of what we talked about too with again, and we've talked about this a couple times, like calling it pro.
Yeah, it's the shit name.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
So you almost
Uh,
like one like
oh,
a heavy and a fast.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah. So anyways, I did do both open. So, um, kind of for a workout purpose. And that's kind of how I thought about with my solo. I was doing it for work, but at the same time, I wanted to really push to just see what I my body could handle, knowing full well I was going to blow up. I actually have never the thought of dropping out hasn't crossed my mind in a long, long time in general. And on the burpees, when everything was seizing in my legs and it was hard to get off the carpet, I laid on the carpet for a couple seconds once and I was like, thank God they put in this no spitting rule.
I can
And then
confidently relax here.
yes, I'm gonna wait here. And then I thought
That's
I
right.
could just, it would be really nice.
Because like Rai says,
Yeah.
everyone follows the rules.
Yeah. Yep. Um, and I got up, and because I've it been open women all day, I got up and I was covered in glitter. Covered in glitter. Like all over my quads. It was so funny.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The fashion show was in full effect.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I can't let myself quit. So
I did like that when you before you and Lanny started, you're like, well, we're just wearing black.
I know. We're like, do you have black? I'm like, yeah, I got black. Okay, cool.
Hey, John and I looked good.
Oh yeah, I
We had the double plaid shorts. John had the plaid
oh
shorts. I had the
yeah.
plaid shorts. We
Mhm.
had the black tank tops. We were matching pretty good. We were looking stellar.
Mhm.
Um, all right, a little bit about my race. Like to start one off. Going in, like you said, we knew we were the only ones, so we just went for a nice workout and had a good time.
Mhm.
That said, we were very inspired that we could do a lot better, actually. Um, and I don't know if we'll get another chance to race together. We're not signed up for anything right now, but if we do get a
Mhm.
chance, I think we could do even better. I don't know if it said on the screen that we qualified for Worlds because it said there was a world spot for our age group. That said, we're not gonna go anyway. But I was like, oh, that's weird. I didn't think that would be the case. Anyway, John was a little nervous beforehand about some of the weights, mostly just the sleds. And honestly, he killed it. He did great. He went out there, and I think that on a lot of things, he probably saved my bacon on some stuff, and it was really cool. And I think because for me right now, cardio wise, I'm very low. Strength wise, I'm quite decent right now, but cardio wise, I'm pretty low, and that's to be expected. It's the same way I trained last year.
Mhm.
But it was kind of motivating. I really wanted to, if we go again, I want to do better. I want to do a really good,
Mhm.
put up a better time. Um, Originally, we'd said we were going to go try to break 120, but then when we kind of knew there was no competition, we didn't even look. We didn't. Neither one of us wore a watch. We didn't care. We just floated out there and
Mhm.
kind of, oh, I'm a little tired. Let's recover now and do that. So, but it was good. And then I did the solo Hard-Rox, which Bethany told me not to do,
Mhm.
and it was an absolute success. One of the few times Bethany was so wrong.
But how do you define success?
People laughed and we had a good time.
Okay. The only thing that I'm thinking is if this becomes a thing,
Yes, I will take credit.
it'd be mayhem. I know.
Yes, yes, it would be. That said, it was one of the most fun Hyrox experiences I've ever had. It was so cool. A lot of people knew ahead of time, and
I
probably,
appreciate you wore that shirt. I saw that
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
that's
saying I'm
good.
cheating and don't follow me, and
Yeah.
and off the start talking about hanging back. I did hang back because there
Mhm.
were some guys in my wave who were not fast runners.
Okay, so did you go out and go straight in the end?
I went straight in the in off the start, but I made sure that everyone in my wave was in front of me,
Okay.
so that no one would get confused or whatever in my wave, so I wouldn't affect anybody's race that way. So yeah, and there were some slower guys in my wave, so like I waited like 15 seconds after everybody went before I crossed the line, and even still, I did not run hard at all. I jogged,
Hmm.
and then went in, and it was funny because I got in the ski erg and I am the only one there, and I'm kind of in between waves now.
Oh yeah.
So the judges, I put me right on the first ski erg, and the judges are like,
Because they
you."
usually would get a 10-minute break.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, yeah, it should have been at least 5 minutes in between, right? Because so anyway, I'm like just kind of chilling, and they're like, "You sure you're supposed to be here?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." They asked, "Are you in the 8:30 wave?" Like they didn't know, trying to figure out if I was really far behind
Uh-huh.
the wave in front of
Oh,
me, or if
yeah.
I. So I'm like, "No,
Like
man,
you
I'm
ran a 10-minute first kilometer.
yeah, yeah." So and then luckily the one judge kind of recognized me from judging the day before or earlier in the day. And he went over and he goes, I said, dude, I'm great. Don't worry about it. He goes, okay, cool. So off I went, did my thing. The next kind of catch on, and the whole time I'm wondering, is someone going to catch on and pull me off course or not? Because nobody really knew. So the next one was coming out of the sled push into the pull. And someone's like,
So then you had to go backwards.
yes, yeah. At that
The
time, it
rock.
looked a little weird because I did have to go backwards a little bit in the rock zone.
Yeah.
So I got to the push, did the push, come out, and just a quick cut right back into the pull. And guys like, "You're good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm good. Don't worry." Right. And I go do the pull, come out. And then it was fine. Nobody else caught on to anything until after the farmer carry. And the woman after the farmer carry, she saw me go right out of the farmer carry, right to the lunges. And that was the girl watching what bags you picked up in the lunges. And she's like, you're supposed to run, right? And I'm like, I'm good. She's like, okay. So away I went, I did it, and then I did the lunges, and then had a Hyrox staff actually run with me from the lunges to the wall balls, doing a little video and giggling and having a good time.
So then you went out,
Out the out.
okay.
I went out the out and then right into the wall balls.
Hmm.
So in total, like on the course, I probably ran 200 meters.
Okay.
Yeah, 2/10 of a mile, something like that. I don't know. And then like whatever it is at the rock. So realistically, like I did wear my watch for this, and it said like 1.5 kilometers, which is probably a bit off, but realistically I wouldn't
Well,
be
but if you
surprised if it
think
was close to
about,
one. If it was close to one.
but you think about the distance that you
Yeah.
go with all of the
Yeah.
machines
Yeah.
or like, the lunges,
Yes.
burpees, you probably did.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought it would be closer to one, but anyway, so went out, did the wall balls, crossed the line, and this is the best part. Crossed the line, and I'm expecting, I don't know if we had talked about it before,
Like
but
35 minutes of
no,
penalties.
like 160. I was expecting like 160 minutes in
Yeah.
penalty. It doesn't show up. It just shows up 52:09. And I'm like, shit.
You're like, oh, I fucked up.
Well, I'm just like, shit. Don't flash to world record. Don't flash to world record.
Oh no, could you imagine?
And it didn't. It didn't. So all was fine. A lot of people laughing. A lot of good times had. Everybody's getting a kick out of it. Um, I did have like five people come up to me and congratulate me on the world record, and I had to explain, no, no,
This is
I
giving me so much anxiety right now. Thinking,
just like, nope, I cheated. Totally was nothing. They were like, we were trying to figure it out. Like, no offense, but you like an old dude.
And they'd be like just I mean, look, sorry, but if they like looked at
Yeah,
you
I'm
and
like,
they'd be like,
no,
something's
no,
wrong.
no. And it's like I'm
Yeah.
an old, short, stocky dude in a kilt. Like
Yeah.
I'm not setting world records out there. So anyway, and then when I got, you get your little picture taken at the end in front of the screen. Well, when I set that down, then I set my tablet on that, it shows up 5209, and all the guys in line are like, "What the fuck?" Like, I don't, no, no, again, we're good. So it was funny. It was great.
I'm
Like I
glad
said,
you didn't tell me you were doing that.
I did tell you I was doing it.
I didn't know you were doing it here
Oh,
this week.
yes, 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 yes. Yeah. And I would do it again.
Don't do it. But so online now, what does it show you as your result?
Disqualified.
Okay, thank you.
So
Good.
you can't even see my score. If you search my name, you can see it. But if you just look at the standings, it won't come up.
Okay.
So yeah, basically in the rule book, it says any full station missed or any full run missed is a disqualification. Now,
Okay. Okay.
if I was really looking to get those penalty minutes put up on the board, what I would need to do is to run, like it shows my first lap is 27 seconds. So you need to basically run that first bit, go in, and then you need to run out the out, do kind of that partial lap and go in. So you'd need to kind of go in and out each time. And then you get hit with a shit ton of penalty minutes, but it would all count.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that's the next one. Who knows?
Oh man.
I, like I said, it went over really well. It was a well-received joke. It was a great time. I did not get escorted off the course. In fact, I got applauded off the course. Um, and I do have to say thank you very much to Zach, who followed me around and took videos and joked around with me and had a good time and took a lot of pictures. No, no, so he was very appreciative. He took some good videos and got some good fun. And yeah, same with John. John caught my reaction when the thing went up on the screen and it didn't show the penalties. I was like, shit.
That would stress me out so much.
Ah, no, no, no. I didn't care. If it had flashed, I probably would have died laughing. I just,
Well, I feel like they must have a fail-safe for that because I'm sure they've thought about what if
I
someone
think,
really
I
messes
think they
up.
have to, I think they have to hit a button to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a legit concern of mine was that I got mixed in with other waves and that they would start announcing me as leading or something like that.
Yeah.
And I that was a legit concern of mine. So was ready to tell the PA guy like, like
Yeah.
so.
Hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, the only thing Hyrox said to me at all was no to the strong rocks. It has to be hard rocks.
Oh, because it's too close to Deca?
Exactly.
Ah, okay.
Which I think is great because hard rocks was what I called it to begin with.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was my world record. Oh, you know what else I did?
What
You'd
did
be very
you
proud of me. On the sled pull, I was pulling, and this was on my last length, and I stepped on the line, on
do?
the back line. And I looked behind me, and the volunteer judge was there, and she looked at me. She didn't say anything. And I said, "Give me a warning."
Uh-huh.
She's like, "What?" I said, "I stepped on the line. Give me a warning." And she's
Hmm.
like, "Okay, that's a warning for stepping on the line." I'm like, "Great, good job." And as I started to pull the next pull, one of the employees, one of the black shirt guys, he goes, "That was cool, man." So I was still self-officiating.
Hmm.
So it was a lot of fun. What did you think of your officiating overall? I mean, it probably doesn't affect you much, other than I could call some things on you there, but I didn't.
What would you have called on me?
Line violations, Bethany,
What line violations?
on the sled. I saw one.
On my sled pull?
Yes.
Yeah, so I did get a warning.
Did you
Yeah.
get a warning?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did actually get a
Good for
warning.
that.
I stepped back one time. And I was kind of like tripping on the rope and stuff, and
Yeah,
then I was moving the rope and I stepped on the line. And they did give me a warning.
that's
Yeah.
good. Good for them.
And then I was just overly cautious after that. So yeah. I mean, I thought it was great. Again, I will say I do think they're more lenient in open.
I,
Um,
I I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think we should have got some like we could have been given if they were super strict with us, there are things that we could have been given penalties for that we didn't. So I think they do adjust based on the
Hmm.
grouping. You know, there was things too, like Lanny didn't know the rule about she did grab the handle before her one foot was strapped in. Like
I
stuff
was screaming trying to stop that.
there's those little things too where I mean I think if we were in a pro, we I don't even know I've never seen someone been given that one except in like the Elite 15.
50-50, maybe they catch it, maybe they don't.
Yeah. So, and again, it's the amount of things I had to explain to like, there's so many things when this is not your world at all.
And some of them are silly.
And some of them are silly, like that one. So she didn't know that. So we didn't get a penalty or a warning for that. Like some of the wall balls were a little bit sus, but we didn't get any no reps. Landy did get a bunch of warnings at the beginning and then she got close
I
enough.
thought she got one no rep because I swear I saw it up on the board.
She could have. Again,
Yeah.
I didn't see any, but she could have got one at the beginning. But yeah, I thought they did a really good job. And for the most part, I found the judges to be so encouraging.
Yes.
For the most part, everyone was just cheering people on. And I think that's fantastic. It just raises the whole vibe of everything. Sometimes people can get an idea that the judges are just out there to look for penalties, and I didn't feel that way. And I just felt like everyone just, wanted people to have a good time and enforce the rules and but at the same time like the experience of it was the priority and that's kind of how I felt.
So I went into the weekend not planning to judge, like no real plans whatsoever.
Mhm.
Yeah, Rye said she knew I would. Um, but then John wanted to, like, we didn't know what to do on Friday or no, Friday, sorry, on Saturday morning, because John didn't run at all on Saturday, and I didn't run till 8:50 at night or 8:40 at night.
That
So
was your solo time?
yeah, 8:40 at night. Yeah,
That is so late.
yeah. Well, I kind of deliberately tried to put myself in the last wave too.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So when we decided to go, we went. Well, first off, something like happened to me that never has happened before. They said no, we don't need any volunteers.
Whoa.
This started a debate where I'm like, yes, you do. Yeah, you do. You really do. Anyway, there was some back and forth about whether they needed any or not. And how did somebody put it? I name dropped myself, and they said, okay, yeah, we'll bring you to wall balls.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we just did a little explanation of
Did you
who.
you didn't say, do you know who I am?
No, I did not say, do you know who I am?
Okay, good.
No, 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 no,
I
no.
might have had
I
to
did not.
punch you in the face.
However, if I did, I would have made John video it so that we had it on tape because that would have been awesome, and I would have died laughing.
I'm so glad you didn't say that.
No, no, it was one of these where they were just like, well, what's your experience? And I'm like, all right, here's a list. So
Mhm.
anyway, they're like, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, you guys, we need you to go to wall balls. So we went to wall balls for Saturday morning. And this is some stuff where I'm going to poke some holes. So Saturday morning, what I will say about the whole process, like you said earlier, they were much more organized than before.
Super organized. Yeah.
Very organized, that was all great. They
There
did a
wasn't
really
a
good job.
lineup anywhere. For the
No,
amount of people, I didn't wait in line for nothing.
yeah,
Registration,
yeah, the
helping,
registration's
nothing.
fast, bridge crossing over,
Yeah.
right?
No issues. Get it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
really good, really good. Warm up area, fantastic. In and out, bag check, great. Everything like that was great. And the organization of the volunteers as far as timing to be here, timing to do this, timing to do this, really good. However, we get to the wall balls. By the time they come to give us our instructions and tutorial, because many of these people have never judged before and do not know the standards at all. The music is already going, the first wave is already go off, the announcer's already on there. It's loud. And it's in the loudest area because we're right by the finish line, which is one of the
Yeah.
loudest areas. We were given maybe 5 minutes on the standards, and that includes the standards and how to operate the tablet. 5 to 10 minutes max. and most of the people could not hear anything. So a lot of them were going into this very blind. That, in my mind, is not acceptable and not good enough. They had other rooms they could have brought the wall ball crew into, had a little target on the wall, had a tablet there, run through it, would have been great. All right. It is much less complicated to judge now because realistically, you're looking for depth and that's it. The
Yeah.
targets do the rest.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is something that I've been against in the past because I don't, like the targets, but I can honestly say I did not see them fail at all this weekend as long as I was there.
I didn't hear anybody complain about that.
Yeah. So kudos to them. Good tech, nicely done. But that mount a level of instruction for the people in the wall balls is not adequate. I did see some amazing head judges, and I saw some other head judges who were not in a position to be head judges. They either did not know the rules, were not prepared, and I don't know if they got the job because they were, and I please don't hate this word, but like Hyrox fanboys and girls, or how whatever the case may be, but they were not prepared to be head judges. They needed to spend more time volunteer judging before they stepped up. Other ones, spectacular, but some definitely should not have been in that position. Um, there were times I had to explain a lot of things to a lot of people. And then I did know when I left my shift after the morning, because I went and rested before my race and whatnot, got some food. John continued on and did the whole day. And he had to pretty much take over on wall balls as a head judge, even though he's a volunteer, just
Okay.
helping people out. And you know what? Great that he did. He helped a lot of people and made sure a lot of people had good races because of that. Um, I'm going to read you a story somebody texted me today. Because I had gone on a podcast with Matt and them, and I had said about kind of a similar thing about my experience. Anyway, they wrote to me and they said, Thursday afternoon, I judged at burpee broad jumps. The head judge there gave us direction, said nothing about hand and feet distance or take off from 2 feet. But they did tell us that they had to have full hip extension when they were jumping and that they couldn't stay crouched down. I looked at her straight in the eyes and said, I'm sorry, but that is absolutely wrong and not in the rule book at all. I said that in front of a small group. She doubled down and continued to talk about that and said nothing about hand or foot placement. After she walked away, I turned around to the other people there who had zero experience and actually explained what the rules were for the burpee broad jumps. At another time, a head judge came over and asked me a technical question. I was pretty appalled at the lack of basic knowledge of the head judge, or two head judges actually.
And that was at burpees.
I was at burpee broad jump, which is number two for
Yeah.
standard issue,
Yeah.
right? So while there was a lot of improvement in a lot of things, and I'm going to say this too straight out, even watching the wall ball depth through most of it, it was still, I mean, it's better than it was, but it's still flatlined. Like it's gotten to a point where they're kind of letting a lot go, and that just seems to be what they're calling the standard. When I called mine, called by the book. Most of the people near me followed suit. And then I could see as I would look further down the line and on the other side that it would get softer. And it's something that I still think part of it could have been more instruction would really help. And part of it could have been more assertive and more quality head judges.
Hmm.
Again, some were great, some were fantastic, and just some just weren't ready. Is probably the way I should put it. They weren't ready.
Hmm.
So I hope that that gets rectified. I hope that's something they continue to work on. And even to the point where just because you are a head judge or just because you are an employee of Hyrox does not mean you know what you're doing as far as judging goes. Reread the rule book, really
Hmm.
get dialed in. If you're going to be out there affecting people's races, make sure you know what you're doing. So that's kind of where I'll be. I'll just leave it at that. Other than that, I had a really great weekend. Even the
Hmm.
camping, we went camping because hotels were stupid expensive. It was like Chicago all over.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, we actually said, John and I said, hey, we're gonna go, we're having a boys' weekend. Let's get a cool hotel with a pool and da da
Yeah.
da. And I looked at the prices and I went, fuck that, we're going camping. It's $35 each a night.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah. And I mean, he's got his setup. I got mine set up. It would be foolish for us not to. And their campsite was 15 minutes from the venue.
Oh, that was closer than we were.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it was super easy drive, straight, like no problem, no traffic, no nothing. So
Yeah.
it ended up being a very good idea, very big success. If Ottawa comes back next year, I will do the exact same thing in the exact same place.
Yeah. Me too. I had
There
a
you go.
great
What's that?
I had a great weekend. I'll do it again, the
You
same
had
place.
good looking pizza.
We did.
Was that
Yeah, we
like
stayed.
deep dish?
No, but it was pretty cheesy. It was still
Mhm.
pretty good that way. Yeah, we stayed in Stittsville at my friend Jackie's. Jackie was my roommate in university, so it was just really good to catch up with her. So it's been a while. I have yet to convince her to do a high rocks. Jackie is built like Emily Dahman, exactly.
Mhm.
So when I showed her, because she was like, no, like I'm lanky, whatever. I'm like, look, there is someone who looks exactly like you. And she's like, damn it, my excuses are gone.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, the tall frame does favor, especially like on that sled pull. Tall frames help a lot.
well, and the ergs.
Yeah, the ergs too. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no question that the long levers help, but yeah, no, Jackie, she also doesn't spend a lot of time in the gym. She's a runner. She likes to run. So it would be a stretch for her too, but I don't know. We'll see. She also runs a couple law firms, so she's got other stuff going on.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't.
You seen
She's
my
great though.
banner?
Yeah.
That's
But
the problem.
yeah, it was so great to catch up. So it's just such a great weekend that way. So
All right. There is a couple of DECA things I need to go over because I've gotten a lot of questions. DECA put out about World Championships, Fort Worth, 10th through the 13th or 14th. I might be off on the dates. It's like a 4-day event this time. A little bit different. Couple of questions people have had. On the final day, they're telling everyone it's open. Well, it is. It's one of those events where if you it's not a qualify race. It's a strong, anybody can jump in, have a race, have some fun. That time will count towards next season's qualification.
okay, I'm glad you're explaining this because I was very confused.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I got a lot of people asking me about it. So I thought I'd take yeah,
And that's the Sunday.
that's the Sunday. Now there's still Saturday normally, like so basically like normal DECA championship weekend, but jump it back a day. So Thursday's the fit, Friday's the mile, Saturday's the strong, then Sunday is open fun day, right? And
Okay.
yeah,
Why would they make a competitive world championship on a Thursday?
don't know.
Why would the open whatever
Why would the
not
open day
be
not be on the Thursday?
the Thursday?
I'm thinking the only reason I can think of that is because I usually do the strong last and then wanted to leave the strong setup.
Then do it Monday.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that actually would to me make more sense would be the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Like people do have actual jobs.
Yes, yes, they do. So that's what that's about. Now there was some other
Okay.
stuff about 4-person relay miles. This is not real.
No. Oh, okay, good.
This is not real. This is not a thing. This was a copy paste error that is being rectified. Okay, glitch in the matrix. It's not real. So no, there is that is not a thing. So don't worry about it. Other than that, I'm trying to think if there was any other questions about it that I was getting. Those are the most parts. If anybody else has any other questions about it, please message me. I'll be happy to help you out. Um, yeah, anybody who wants to do some deck of teams roulette on the last day where we just throw some names in a hat and pick partners, I'd be down for that. I'd be
I
up
like
for
that
that.
idea.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Oh, the other thing, looks like top 15 for everything across the board. Okay. 4-person teams is actually top five. All right. So that's another thing because there will be 4-person team. There is not an atlas at this, which is a little disappointing. I would have liked that, but
Mhm.
is what it is. So yeah, that's the basis of that. That's it.
Why wouldn't they do an atlas on the other day?
I would like to see that, especially because when you're condensing it into the strong, that means you have a lot more space in the venue that you could throw it up. You could throw it up.
Yeah.
You know, I do
Oh
know that.
well.
Yeah, I do know that the trucks are packed to the gills. They don't have like a mobile Atlas setup, but I mean, it's not a lot. You could put it together pretty quickly. I'm a little
Mhm.
disappointed that they're not doing it, but turns out I still don't get everything I want.
Yeah. Nobody asked you.
Well, they might have asked me, but they didn't listen.
That's fair.
So anyway, I'm still looking forward to it. It'll be good. It does mean that I will spend another birthday in the airport, but that's okay. I did that last year. I guess I'll do it again this year.
Yeah. Mhm.
I got that one. I got the one on race day. That was great. That was a great birthday. So
Mhm.
that was good. But other than that, anything else you wanted to talk about with, well, anything really.
No, no, I think that's good. Yeah.
All right, me too. Everybody in Ottawa. Oh, this I do want to mention 100% for sure. And I probably you feel the same way. So many people came to talk to me in Ottawa.
Mhm.
Like came up and appreciated what we do, and it was overwhelming for me. Like it was literally, I'm not an emotional dude, and I was like, you know what, this is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Um, I think some people might overstate what especially what I do. Like so, um, but thank you. It means a lot that people come and talk to me, that they appreciate it, and that I know we try very hard to to add to the community, to add to the sport, to
Mhm.
to leave things better than we found it.
Yeah.
So it means a lot that people notice and that they appreciate it. Dude, when you were getting like you guys were after your race and you were getting changed at the car, did you know the people in the vehicle beside us or beside you?
No.
Because
Wait.
they were like
Ma-
saying, oh, they were saying that's Bethany McChesney. And I didn't know if you knew them or whatever, but yeah, they were totally, yeah, that's Bethany. Yeah, I couldn't make out everything, but they were in because they were in their vehicle and it was running. They were getting ready to pull out, but they knew.
Oh, n no. I think no, I didn't. I think I talked to them.
Yeah, yeah. I had some great chats with them.
That's so funny now that you say that. Because
Yeah,
I did chat with them.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I didn't know their names.
I had a great chat with Jarrett Newby while we were waiting for awards.
Oh
I think
yeah.
it was the first time I think he and I ever really talked. And before the race, before he ran, him his partner Hayden Warner, and I got good chats with Rich Ryan and Jesse during the warm up area. Like just it was really
Yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
And again, the whole time it was one of these. Like John knows that we do this stuff and everything, but this is the first time he's ever really like walked around with me all day at an event. He's like, a lot of people know you. Like, semi well-known person in a very niche world.
Super niche.
Super niche.
Yeah.
But again, super appreciative. Like just really kind of humbled by it.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, as far as the Hyrox go, this is probably the one where I felt the most appreciated and welcomed and all that stuff. So it was really cool.
Mhm.
So thank you.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm saying is thanks.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
take us home, Beth.
Yeah, thanks so much everyone for listening. Everyone that competed at Hyrox Ottawa. We hope you had a great time. It was such a great event. Mostly positives that kind of came out of it. It's definitely coming along. Like Hyrox is really working out a lot of the things that have been problems and, really building on our first Canadian event at Hyrox Toronto 2 years ago. So we just love to see the sport growing and it's just doing so much for the community of fitness in general. So yeah, all in all, such a good weekend celebrating fitness in Canada in Ottawa. So yeah, thanks again for listening.
Take care.